Hi everyone, today I will be showing you how to add a user to SafetyLoop. So the first thing you want to do from this dashboard is come to the users and groups option on the sidebar and expand it. From there, click user list. This will pop up the user list of all of your active users in your account, but since this is a new company, it is only me right now. So I'm going to click new user in the top right corner to add a new user and pop up the new user menu. So in this menu, it'll walk you through all the steps to add a new user and then also get them assigned to the right thing so they can get up and running right away. Anything marked with a red asterisk in this menu is mandatory. So the first two mandatories are first name, which is John, and last name Smith. And then we have some other steps. So email here, and this is great if you want them to get action items automatically through the email, or they can be able to reset their own password on email, and there's a couple different things they can do when you attach the email to the account. Phone number here as well is more of a notes field, but we're going to go down to username, and I'm going to do John at Globe, because we are in Globe contracting right now. So I've entered in that name, and I'm going to set a password. And for the passwords, it just has to be more than 8 characters, or 8 characters or more. If they log in on mobile, it'll prompt them to reset the password, so it's okay to do more of a generic one when you're first setting it up. Then moving down the list, the next mandatory is employee ID, and Mr. John Smith here is our second employee, so I'm just going to do 02 as his employee ID. And then in between this, we have a couple extra fields which can be useful for adding any info you need, like a hire date when they were hired, any employee notes, anything you want to list there, emergency contact person name, and emergency contact number. But none of those are mandatory, so we're not going to bother with them right now. They just are there if you need them. The next mandatory and last mandatory here is the user role. And this dictates what the user will be able to see in the system. So employees is the base role, and they can see the least. And what employees can see is just what they have done to the groups they're assigned. So they can only see their own records of training, and they can only see forms that they've done. Moving up the list, we have manager. And so manager is someone that would need to see what other people are doing onto a site. So this would be like a site super or a site foreman, and basically what managers can do is they can not only see what they have done to different groups, but they can also see what other employees and other managers and other people have done to that group as well. This includes forms, this includes the ROTs for people on that group, and different things like that. So it gives them more visibility. And then moving again over, we have admin, and admin is the most powerful role in the system. And that is where you'll be adding new users just like this. So you want to keep this role limited. So you're better off doing manager and employee for most people. And then lastly in the user role list here, we have observer. And observer is a little bit different. So the way it works is it sees everything a manager can see, but it can't do anything. So it is, as it says, it's an observer. And this is good for if a company wants to see forms being done to a group, but they don't need to do any or anything like that. So that is what the observer role is. And then on the right here, we have approver. And you don't really need to worry about this too much, but this is whether or not the person can approve risk assessments. So you don't need to answer that. I'm just going to scroll past it. The last two options here are app permission. This is inventory and time tracking. So this just dictates whether those two icons show up for the person. And that depends if you show them. If you want that to show for the person, just click the little icon or the little switch here, and then that will show up when they log into the app. We're not going to worry about that, so we're going to go to next, and user assignments. And so user assignments is where you're actually going to set up what the person sees. So the first step here is all the different groups. So I'm going to add him to the Globe Contracting group, and then Project A. And so to send those over, you just select the two groups, and then you click this arrow right here in the middle. And then it sends it over to the selected side. Next in the list here is assigning job profiles. So if you don't know what job profiles are, go check out that video. But right here is when you can assign those straight to a user. And I'm going to click laborer here. I'm going to click that over, and that way his forms are shared already with the groups that he's attached to, and any groups in the future he gets those forms right away. Lastly, you can select individual forms here, but because we did the job profile, we don't need to do that. So I'm just going to click submit, and we have created our first user. Now he shows up in the user list, and anything that he has should be all set up already and ready to go. So hopefully this video helped.